Hello everyone, this is Cass of Mad Alchemy Comics, and I'm here to bring you another Samurai Troopers discussion video. Today we will be talking about episode 11 titled Returns. Let's get into it. So the episode starts off with the guys summoning the white Emperor armor and them having to unfortunately use it on Mirai. Mirai in the previous episode was also darkness poisoned or darkness cursed, so she became a demon puppet. Kind of conflicted, the guys are really trying to figure out how to take her down or defeat her, while Mirai in and of herself is fighting the demonic possession internally. Cutting back to the base, Yuri runs to see Nasty and see if there's a way they can try to reverse what is happening. Nasty really starting to feel the regret of the situation. She, is pleading to Ramaga and, seeing if he can spare her and things like that. So, unfortunately, the guys do have to cut Mirai down because there just was no way they could turn her back. So this episode starts off very bleak with the death of Mirai kind of getting taken out the same way as Ryusei. The guys, still having to go forward. They go into they begin to traverse the castle. Now, a certain gripe of mine does kind of start to appear because this does happen in another episode where they show after this kind of serious moment, it's preceded by lots of jokes and lighthearted moments. The only thing to me that really saved this moment in the episode was that Musashi kind of highlights it. It starts with Yamato as he's joking and they're doing their lighthearted comedy routine. So Musashi again does save it by acknowledging that Yamato might have been playing it off or trying to make the situation more lighthearted than what it was. But Yamato kind of retorts and says he's not trying to do that. So we'll hold on to that. We'll see how often that continues to happen throughout the remainder of the season or the series. But other than that, we cut back to the base. Nasty is looking at the jewel, trying to appeal to Ramaga. They do a flashback on a bell that is attached to it. Now, the bell in and of itself isn't important, but it does play a important part later in the episode. So it pretty much shows in the flashback that Ryo gives Nasty this bell, and it's going to be very sentimental. But what the role will be, we'll talk about in just a minute, and I'm very excited about it. But as they're going through the castle, it does cut to the remainder of the emperors. Sasuke is becoming very frustrated with the situation at hand, and they're beginning to talk about the plans of Ramaga and what needs to happen. Again, understanding Sasuke is beginning to kind of relate and understand they're trying to save their comrades while we're kind of sacrificing ours, and this is something he just doesn't want to do and agree with. So I don't know how much of a crack this will show in the team overall, but it's showing a lot of discourse, and as they're questioning Saizo on it, Saizo still just being trust the plan, but you can see a little doubt in his eyes as well. So we'll see where that leaves the remainder of the Emperors by the end of the series or the end of the arc. Ramaga summons them, and they come to set themselves up for the battle at hand as the guys go to the fighting room where they're about to fight Ramaga. But interestingly enough, the guys, they don't transform. They take band instruments. So they play music, and play with the instruments to set the scene for the fight. This is interesting because they do cut back earlier. So if some people might have guessed that that band that you see in like a video earlier in the franchise might have been the Emperor's, your guess is looking a little bit more right in this regard. So as the guys begin to, fight and, fight Ramaga, they first start out in their base form transformations. Guy is fighting them, trying to take on Ramaga, and again, Nasty looks on to the battle, and they're trying to appeal to Ryo to come back. The interesting thing is Ramaga has the fight plastered all over the a big screen so they can watch. So they're trying to appeal. The bell is ringing, and Ryo has kind of broken through the mind control some. So as Ryo is breaking through the mind control, he says, "Kill me," and they say, they appeal to don't, but as they've just killed another ally in the beginning of the episode, there's no turning back now. So God utilizes the technique, and he attacks him. But the funny thing is that it doesn't really kill Ryo. It kind of just separates him from Ramaga. But I must mention, somewhere in the battle as Guy is fighting Ramaga, he does get the White Emperor armor. So this is not just a one-sided battle. Ramaga's plan is working. He got his armor. He hasn't gotten Guy's body, but he got the White Emperor armor. So as he's separated from Ryo, he begins to, I guess, possess the Emperor armor. And the episode ends with everybody in the world being turned to puppets. And Ramaga, although doesn't have a body, he does have possession of the White Emperor armor, and he's kind of now a spirit within the armor. And again, the episode ends with Ryo and Guy staring down Ramaga and saying they're ready to take him on, as Ryo has acknowledged Guy as the new Will of Fire. So overall, this was a very good episode. These guys are ready for battle. They're starting to understand that, not everybody might not make it out of this fight. As they just had to kill Mirai, they were ready to take out Ryo, and they're just dead set on taking out Ramaga at this point, because now the world is puppets and the stakes are being set, and we'll see where that goes. So, like I said, this is a far throw from the original Ronin Warriors. So one of my biggest hopes is going forward, we start to introduce the old guys back, and even see some guys from the Emperor start to join the team. Maybe because the cracks are showing. So we'll find out next time. We'll see where everybody's going, and it's picking up very well, and I'm excited about it. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for sitting with me this far. I know I'm a bit of a rambler, but really good episode. This is Cats and Mad Alchemy Comics, and you have a good one. Bye.